The night is always interesting, and he was moderately pleased. When he went to bed that night, he thought at first he would not be able to sleep, but he soon dropped off, and it seemed only a few minutes before he felt someone gently waking him. He sat up in his bed and saw the room was full of moonlight. Dr. Cornelius, muffled in a hooded robe and holding a small lamp in his hand, stood by his bedside. Caspian remembered at once what they were going to do. He got up and put on some clothes. Although it was a summer night, he felt colder than he expected, and he was quite glad that Doctor wrapped him in a robe like his own, and gave him a pair of warm, soft buskins for his feet. A moment later, both muffled so that they could hardly be seen in the dark corridors, and both shod so that they made almost no noise, master and pupil left the room. Caspian followed the doctor through many passages and up several staircases, and at last through a little door in the turret. They came out upon the leads. On one side were the battlements, on the other side a steep roof. Below them, all shadowy and shimmery, the castle gardens, above them stars and moon. Presently they came to another door, which led into a great central tower of the castle. Dr. Cornelius unlocked it, and they began to climb the dark, winding stair of the tower. Caspian was becoming excited. He had never been allowed up the stair before. It was long and steep, but when they came out on the roof of the tower, and Caspian had got his breath, he felt that it had all been worth it. Away on his right, he could see, rather indistinctly, the western mountains. On his left was the gleam of the great river, and everything was so quiet that he could hear the sound of the waterfall at Beaver's Dam a mile away. There was no difficulty in picking out the two stars that they had come to see. They hung rather low in the southern sky, almost as bright as two little moons, and very close together. "Are they going to have a collision?" he asked in an awestruck voice. "Nay, dear prince," said the doctor, and he, too, spoke in a whisper. That was a whisper. "The great lords of the upper sky know the steps of their dance too well for that. Look well upon them. Their meeting is fortunate, and means some great good for the sad realm of Narnia. Tarva, the lord of victory, salutes Alambil, the lady of peace. They are just coming to their nearest." "It's a pity that the tree gets in the way," said Caspian. We'd really see better from the west tower, though it's not so high." Dr. Cornelius said nothing for about 2 minutes, but stood still with his eyes focused on Tarva and Alambil. Then he drew a deep breath and turned to Caspian. "There," he said. "You have seen what no man now alive has seen, nor will see again. And you are right, we should have seen it even better from the smaller tower. I brought you here for another reason." Caspian looked up at him, but the doctor's hood concealed most of his face. "The virtue of this tower," said Dr. Cornelius, "is that we have 6 empty rooms beneath us and a long stair, and the door at the bottom of the stair is locked. It's locked. We cannot be overheard. Are you going to tell me what you wouldn't tell me the other day?" said Caspian. "I am," said the doctor. "But remember, you and I must never talk about these things except here on the very top of the great tower." "No, that's a promise," said Caspian. "But go on, please." "Listen," said the doctor. "All you have heard about old Narnia is true. It is not the land of men. It is the country of Aslan, the country of the waking trees and visible naiads, of fauns and satyrs, of dwarfs and giants, of gods and the centaurs, of talking beasts. It was against these that the first Caspian fought. It is you Talmarines who silenced the beasts and trees and fountains, and who killed and drove away the dwarves and fauns, and now trying to cover up even the memory of them. The king does not allow them to be spoken of." "Oh, I do wish we hadn't," said Caspian, "and I am glad it was all true, even if it's all over." "Many of your race wish that in secret," said Dr. Cornelius. "But, doctor," said Caspian, "why do you say my race? After all, I suppose you're a Talmarine too." "Am I?" said the doctor. "Well, you're a man anyway," said Caspian. "Am I?" repeated the doctor in a deeper voice, at the same moment drawing his hood so that Caspian could see his face already clearly in the moonlight. All at once Caspian realized the truth, and felt that he ought to have realized it long before. Dr. Cornelius was so small and so fat, and had such a very long beard. 2 thoughts came into his head at the same moment. One was a thought of terror. I lost my spot doing that. He's not a real man. Not a man at all. He's a dwarf. And he's brought me up here to kill me. The other was sheer delight. They're a real dwarf still. I've seen one at last. So you've guessed it in the end, said Dr. Cornelius. Or, guessed it nearly right. I'm not a pure dwarf. I have human blood in me too. Many dwarfs escaped in the great battle and lived on, shaving their beards and wearing high-heeled shoes and pretending to be men. They have mixed with your Telmarines. I am one of those, only a half-dwarf. And if any of my kindred, the true dwarfs, are still alive anywhere in the world, doubtless they would despise me and call me a traitor. But never in all these years have we forgotten our own people and all our other happy creatures of Narnia and the long-lost days of freedom. I'm sorry, Doctor, said Caspian. It wasn't my fault, you know. I'm not saying these things in blame of you, dear prince, answered the doctor. You may well ask why I say them at all, but I have two reasons. Firstly, the first, because my old heart has carried these secret memories so long that it aches with them and would bust if I did not whisper them to you. But secondly, the second, for this, that when you become king, you may help us. For I know that you also, Telmarine though you are, love the old things. I do, said Caspian, but how can I help? You can be kind to the poor remnants of the dwarf people, like myself. You can gather learned magicians, and try to find a way of awakening the trees once more. You can search through all the nooks and wild places of the land to see if any fauns or talking beasts or dwarfs are perhaps still alive and hiding. Do you think there are any? Asked Caspian eagerly. I don't know, said the doctor with a deep sigh. Sometimes I'm afraid there can't be. I have been looking for traces of them all my life. Sometimes I have thought I had heard a dwarf drum in the mountains. Sometimes at night in the woods, I had thought I caught a glimpse of fauns and satyrs dancing a long way off. But when I came to the place, there was never anything there. I often despaired, but something always happened to start me hoping again. I don't know, but at least you can try to be a king like the High King Peter of old, and not like your uncle. Then it's true about the kings and queens, too, and about the White Witch, said Caspian. Certainly it is true, said Cornelius. Their reign was the golden age of Narnia, and the land has never forgotten them. Did they live in the castle, Doctor? Nay, my dear, said the old man. This castle is a thing of yesterday. Your great-great-grandfather built it, and their two sons, Adam, and their two daughters of Eve, were made kings and queens of Narnia by Aslan himself. They lived in the castle of Cair Paravel. No man alive has seen that blessed place, and perhaps even the ruins of it here have now vanished. But we believe it was from far here, down at the mouth of the river, of the great river, on the very shore of the sea. Ugh, said Caspian with a shudder. Do you mean the black woods where all the ghosts live? Your Highness speaks as if you've been taught, said the doctor, but it is all lies. There are no ghosts there. This is a story invented by the Telmarines. Your kings are in deadly fear of the sea because they can never quite forget that in all the stories, Aslan comes from over the sea. They don't want to go near it, and they don't want anyone else to go near it. So they all have let great woods grow up and cut their people off from the coast. But because they have quarreled with the trees and they're afraid of the woods, and because they are afraid of the woods... Wait, what? They are afraid of the woods, and because they are afraid of the woods, they imagine they are full of ghosts, and the kings and great men, hating both the sea and the wood, partly believe these stories, and partly encourage them. They feel safer if no one in Narnia dares go down to the coast and look out to sea, toward Aslan's land, and the morning, and the eastern end of the world. There was a deep silence between them for a few minutes. Then Dr. Cornelius said, Come, we have been here long enough. It's time to go down and to bed. Must we? Said Caspian. I'd like to go on talking about these things for hours and hours and hours. Someone might begin looking for us if we did that, said Dr. Cornelius. Oh, that was the end of the chapter. Dr. Cornelius. End of chapter 4. Yeah! Don't be nervous there. How are you, Kyle? This is kind of making me want to do a reading stream. I mean, Paige, if you want to do a reading stream, you should definitely do it. It's a lot of fun. It's lovely. You'll have a great time and I'll show up. So, you got at least one viewer. It's me. Hi. I'm Tara. Babbies. Only for babbies. Twig snoring. Terror is impossible not to like. Oh no. It went downhill almost as fast as I was happy about saying that. It's like, yeah, riding the highway. Oh no, crash. From the chat, it looks like people really appreciated that. Dr. Cornelius. Great every time. Punctuated by Twig. Yeah. I'm really dropping frames now. Shadowy and shimmery. A new combination. Said Shasta, shoulder, soldiers, shadowy, shimmery. I almost had it. Can't get over these snores. I mean, the snores kind of just add to the experience. Am I? Add to the kind of feeling of just, hey, this is a good time to sleep. Or to rest your weary eyes. It's an interesting song. Lots of spots in the mention of terror. It happens a lot. I just see myself, I'm like, so pretty. Yes indeed. Chill stream terror. Thanks, Omar. I hope you're doing well. Last chapter 4. Excellent chapter 4 reading terror. Thank you, Summer. Second viewer in me. So fast it went downhill. I was trying to mess with Streamlabs and I have no idea what I'm doing. That's me all the time. But you pretend beautifully, Paige. Cozy fireside, sleepy read stream. Gotta fucking unmute before it dies. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm sorry. Well, I'm glad I've made a joke of one of the characters' names. Oh, perfect timing for the host. I failed to put the camera in the right position. And I also put it over the host alert. So I really did well this time. Omar, thank you so much for the host. Thanks to everybody that's hosted me tonight. It means a lot. Yeah. Oh, we read about 60 pages, so that's not too bad. It's not too bad. Not too shabby. Oh wow, it's past midnight already. I'm now dropping frames. Like crazy. Oh, Omar, don't worry about it. I appreciate hosting it all, really. I just feel kind of bad because I'm pretty much done here. Welcome back, Paige. Good to have you back. Thanks for coming back. Great reading them out. Thank you. Hello. Welcome back. Good to see ya. Glad you decided that you wanted to come back. It means a lot to me. So much so I'm just speaking in a dumb voice. Yes. Twigs. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed part 1. Thank you for the tea high. Part 1 of Prince Caspian. I should be able to get quite a few streams over the next week and a half in. I still gotta talk to Toria because I want to continue Saw soon. Oh, so the reading portion of the 12-hour stream was over. Yeah, only 10 hours ago now. So I'm going to talk to Victoria to see when she wants to do more Saw. But that'll maybe be tomorrow? Maybe? If not tomorrow, Friday. I can't say